Hey, how goes it? Ken Bosak here to talk about cryptocurrencies and cryptocurrency accessories with my homies, Crypto Mac and Rice Crypto. How goes it, bros?
What up?
What's up?
Shout out to Joe Schmo and Dennis Turk in the chat. How goes it, guys? Hey, so last week in Crypto Today, we're going to talk about everything that's already happened and our spin and take on that. I wanted to talk about how Coinbase has announced that they're integrating. Oh, I hear an echo.
Yeah, no, I messed up. That was my deal. Sorry.
It's all good. So yeah, Coinbase has announced that they're going to integrate segwit, and Bitfinex has announced that they will also, as an exchange, be using segwit. I'm excited. I feel like the pressure is on, and more will adopt segwit as the steps to follow. What do you guys think of this, though? Do you think this is going to have any effect on the transaction fees? Do you think, exchanges like Binance will follow in Bitfinex's steps? What do you guys think?
I mean, I think personally that it will be adopted more and more. And in theory, I believe it's supposed to be bringing down the transaction fees. So, I'm not an expert in this field, but that's the way I understand it. The more adoption and use of SegWit, the more it's being used on both ends, the cheaper those transaction fees are going to be, which is more true to Satoshi's vision. So,
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a good thing. Now for adoption, I mean it's obviously going to take time for everybody to get on board with that because you're basically revamping your whole entire wallet system. Changing out the addresses or whatnot to be able to support SegWit. So, I mean, everyone's probably going to follow suit from what I'm hearing, but it's going to take some time. So, just like today with Robinhood, even though it's available in certain places, even people that are in that state still can't gain access. So, I'm assuming they're rolling it out to a certain amount of people each day.
Oh yeah, now they're saying there's millions of people in Robinhood waiting to get in. So the 5 states that are using Robinhood for the zero fee commission crypto trading is California, Massachusetts, Missouri, Montana, and New Hampshire. And more states to come. I think it's up to us to put the pressure on our states, saying we want Robinhood to trade cryptos in our state. I don't know if it's something Robinhood can really just say, hey, we want to be in New York and New Jersey. I think the states have to kind of welcome it. And for that to happen, we got to put the pressure on and start emailing our representatives and telling them we want, to be able to trade cryptos in our state, and we want Robinhood. So if you're watching and you want to trade on crypto, you want to trade crypto on Robinhood, I think emailing your state representative and giving them a piece of your mind may let them know, make it easier for Robinhood to move into your state,
That's a great idea, man. I think it's really great that, I think people need to start waking up politically anyways and get more involved in grassroots efforts like what you're talking about, because that's the only way we're going to be able to improve the climate in the crypto space, in my opinion. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. They might have to get like money transmitter for each state. That might be the reason why that, but also onboarding, if you put 50 states, just like every exchange, when everyone was getting into crypto this year, exchanges were shutting down registration. So, I mean, it's a new process. You don't want to bring a bunch of people in, and then next thing you know, the system's all quirky, and someone's like, "Hey, I just withdrew 100 Bitcoin that I didn't even buy."
You saw that somebody tried to get $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin out of an exchange because the price dipped last week.
Oh no, I didn't see that, but that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the exchange. Mark, you probably know.
I don't. So
no,
but
there was a glitch in an exchange, and a customer tried to make off with a lot of money in Bitcoin. Obviously, didn't work out, but still had to go for it, And that's like you're saying, if there's bugs like that and people to take advantage of them, it could really cause damage. So I think Robinhood rolling it out with the pre-register is definitely a better way of going about it.
Yeah, it was kind of something like I was thinking about with Coinbase. I was like, especially for forks and airdrops, I was like, what would make someone okay? Because Coinbase, it could overdraft your bank. You could be like, okay, I want to buy my max limit of 20,000 today. Wait for a fork, it forks, you get your free coins, and then you sell it. I was like, what what I wonder what measures Coinbase has to prevent, it's something I think about because that would be technically an exploit where they don't have the money in their bank, but they do it. They get the coins instantly, wait for the fork, get their free coins, and then deposit back into their bank before they get hit with like a withdrawal or any of that. So, I mean, there's a lot of tricks that I've heard people attempting to use. I don't know if anyone's used that successfully, but that's one of the things that I've heard someone doing. So that's kind of, yeah, I mean, it's about honesty. No matter where you are, no matter what currency it is, you're going to have people that are just straight dishonest. We see that with all the scams happening now. Charlie Lee, Roger Ver, like whoever is a big person, someone right underneath them is like, hey, send me my ETH and I'll send it back. So, I mean, it's time to weed that. I'm surprised Twitter hasn't put up anything. Like, they let it go for so long.
You know what makes it worse? There's people that comment under it saying, I received my 5 ETH. I received this. Yeah. I'm like, I hate you people. Like, they're the troll, but it's still like... Because, the guy who posted it's looking at his wallet going, oh, where did it go? They sent it. And, like, I think they're trolling the troll, but it's really helping the troll. So, please stop.
Well, it's probably like one of their friends, so it's probably like a team effort to try to.
Oh wow! Yeah, I didn't think of that. Wow, like
yeah, shit. And then they just split whatever they make. I mean, it's possible. It's kind of. I guess I guess I would say it would be like going to play poker and colluding with like someone else that at the table.
No,
I mean,
right.
I guess that's kind of something that I would see with that.
Yeah, I mean, dishonesty in this situations work better in teams, so.
No, for sure, because I wasn't thinking of it like that. Now it makes way more sense that way. I was hoping that they were just trolling. Now you're right. It's kind of like fueling the fire. Speaking of all this dishonest shit, have you guys heard about that Tesla hack where the cloud was used to mine Monero?
I saw something about that earlier, but I didn't really get a chance to look at full details. I mean, when I first saw it, I'm thinking somebody hacked Tesla. Like I would have thought that they would have been like pretty technologically advanced and secure, but I guess like in this
their whole thing was like open source zero security type stuff, and someone found like an exploit in that to utilize it for mining, and it hit the cloud, and it was like I think every car running the software was like contributing to the mining of the crypto. So it was pretty crazy to see like even somebody like Tesla can be taken advantage of. Not too long ago, YouTube was taken advantage of, where in the ads, every time you're watching a YouTube video, if your computer was running and it was watching an advertisement, it was mining Monero through the YouTube advertisement using your computer to make a hacker cryptocurrency. So YouTube and now Tesla, it's crazy because it's like, well, what the hell? Who's next? Or who's currently already been mining, Monero for whoever knows how long? I don't know who great targets would be, but I imagine data centers with an inside source and a USB thumb drive could take off and make off with billions of dollars.
Well, I mean, peer-to-peer servers like FrostWire and stuff like that, those are big targets. And I hear that the mining takes place on there as well. So, and then you're taking advantage of a huge network in those peer-to-peer situations. But those people, in a sense, most people know what they're doing. And it's in a way donating back to what these guys are doing. So by offering those peer-to-peer services. But as far as like YouTube doing it in the advertisements and stuff, I mean, that's completely not cool. And it's happening more and more. So, definitely internet security is an important issue today. And I think people need to take in consideration those things. And I'm glad you mentioned something about this mining that's taking place where people are using our CPU space and we're not even aware of it. And they're taking advantage, and it's not cool. So, we need to be aware of those things and we need to protect ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminds me of, and I think they're starting to make their way back. Back a couple of years ago, one of the key things was exploits through add-ons, through like Chrome add-ons. So people were making Bitcoin Chrome add-ons. You add it on, it could tell you like the ticker price or whatnot. Well, they were also stealing funds. So someone would go to type in their address to like take a withdrawal. And even though you typed it in right, as soon as you hit that send button, the add-ons had the ability to change the address as you hit that send button and next thing you know, your withdrawal went to a completely different address, even though you typed it in correctly. So I think they're starting to make their way around, because I've been hearing.
I got a comment on one of my YouTube videos just before we went live, and somebody said I went to use my Ether wallet on the browser, and when I went to hit send, it looked like the right address, but when I went and looked at the transaction history and the hash, it said a different address was the designated address it went to. And I was like, well, it sounds like you may have a virus or malware that's designed to change your receiving address in the background. You definitely should use a hardware wallet. So you're right. It definitely sounds like it may be making a comeback. I already got a comment about that today.
Well, I mean, even with that, like, that's kind of what scares me a little bit with my Ether, and I guess now it's going to be my crypto too, since those two split. But even Treasure, I mean, Treasure has an add-on, so it's. I haven't looked at the security as far as that, because I don't claim to be a security expert, but I would like to kind of dig into that a little bit more to figure out if there's actually any exploits as far. I know Treasure had one, but you still had to have access to the device, so that wasn't as bad. But I mean, it's possible. I mean, even Ethereum right now, I was reading earlier, is really susceptible right now to hackers. Stealing funds out of the network. So, that's just another thing. It's all around. It's why hackers do what they do. It's an easy income for them if they're, not doing it ethically.
Right. No, for sure, man. So what do you guys want to talk about? Rice, what do you got?
Well, I mean, I was talking to you guys earlier about this guy, Morgan Raccoons, a.k.a. Metabalo. Man, this guy got arrested early February. I think it was the 9th, for selling to an undercover cop. And I think it was on localbitcoins.com. But they're arresting him on all kinds of charges, like money laundering, operating unlicensed, for money transmitting without. And there's a lot of trumped up charges, a lot of misconstrued false information that's been added. The guy has not been able to access his Bitcoin or any of his cryptocurrencies because his phone is in police custody and it's got all of his 2FAs on there. So he's kind of been, So he went to court today, pled not guilty, and they gave him a 10-day extension to figure out something about an attorney. Tone Vase had him on live a couple nights ago on YouTube, and it's not really being covered very much in the media, not even in the crypto space. I mean, there's a couple things here and there, but it's not getting the prevalence I think that it should. And I think that this is a really important issue because ultimately this guy's civil rights are being violated, and we have to protect cryptocurrency. And if this gets brought on a federal level and it gets like the negative attention, it could be bad for Bitcoin when it comes to the regulating that the government is currently doing. So I think people need to be aware of the situation. And his name is Morgan Raccoons, a.k.a. Metaballo, Metabalo. You can check him out on Twitter to follow what's going on with them. He owns the name Bitcoin Incorporated, so he's technically the CEO of Bitcoin Incorporated.
That's awesome.
He's worked on ATM machines. He's done a lot of tech stuff. Like he's apparently a really smart guy. He's also got MS, and he smokes herb for medicinal purposes. And apparently, this all is in California. They're not allowing him to smoke, and it's affecting his MS. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on into play with this, and apparently they've been investigating him for quite a while. And if anything, he's a big enthusiast and nothing but a supporter of the space. So I think people need to be aware of this and support this guy as much as he supported us.
I never thought I'd have to worry about selling cryptocurrencies to a undercover cop a day in my life. Like I never. Like for real, I guess the same policies. If I wouldn't, smoke weed with you, I ain't gonna give you crypto. Like,
but
you got to be in the same roto now.
The thing is, like, apparently they're saying in the work, and Morgan is disputing this, saying that this did not take place. But they're saying that the undercover cop told him that he had received the money that he was going to use to buy the Bitcoin through selling cannabis oils. It has something to do with marijuana.
Oh,
And
what the hell?
so
Like,
they
how
they
is
were
he
acting
supposed to
like,
care? Why would I even care? He could be lying to
but
me. He could try to be sounding like a cool guy who just wants to be a cool kid. Like, how do I know he was really going to use it to buy drugs? Like, why do I care? If you go to an
well, no,
ATM machine and I
apparently he
get
had
money
gotten the
out,
money from it. So he had gotten the money. The cash money came from drug activities, and he was going to
So
use that to
so if
purchase the
somebody were to
Bitcoin.
tell you that and
They
you
were trying to
accepted the
use it
money, you're in
against him.
trouble.
well,
They were
it's
trying to use it against him, and it's not cool at
That
all.
just
That's
sounds
why
like
we need
that
to
sounds
support this
crazy.
guy.
Like, what if I go up
it
to a homeless
sounds
guy who's asking me for money and I go, "Yo, bro, I just sold heroin for this money. Here you go. Go get food."
well
Is that dude now like in trouble?
It's the same thing with what happened with Charlie Shrem.
Yep.
It's the same concept, and it's like you can make the same. And he made it. If you watch Banking on Bitcoin, he even says it on there. He's like, banks know that when people go to withdraw money, that they're going to use it on drugs. Do the banks get arrested for these things? No. It's just like the whole background originally. Bitcoin's for drug dealing and
Right.
dark webs. And that was it. So it's the same thing. Money is money. It can be used for whatever. And you didn't catch him in the act of doing that illegal practice. So therefore, I mean, it's definitely a
That's why
dangerous
they're giving
game.
him
I
the
think Schramm should probably, maybe hopefully
Yes.
he'll reach out to him and give him the best advice. Because I mean, obviously he pled. He took a plea because he didn't want to. He didn't want to be made an example of like Ross Ulbricht was with Silk Road. He's doing basically his life in prison because of just running a site.
Yeah, hashtag free Ross, everybody. Definitely check out the free Ross campaign if you're not aware. That is some deep, deep fucked up shit.
It is.
Yeah, well, let's keep it moving, guys. Lighter note, Arizona State has announced that they want to accept cryptocurrencies for state taxes. The double-edged sword of this is that they are willing to accept some of the major cryptocurrencies for your taxes, but within 24 hours they will convert it into fiat, and there is an arbitrage that you as a taxpayer will be held accountable for if the crypto were to heavily dip within that 24-hour period. You will have to pay the difference, so you may want to be careful. I don't believe if it were to spike in value they give you any back, but they definitely do hold you accountable for that dip within that period of the transaction. So I think it's cool that they're open-minded.
They should
Arizona.
give you money back.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because
I kind
if
of
you
like the
overpay
concept.
on your taxes, they give you money back. They say, "Here you go. Here's a check. You
I feel like it
overpaid."
should
But they
be
probably
done.
won't do
I
that
think
with
it
crypto.
should be settled at the point where I send it, and that whole 24-hour window shouldn't have any effect. But you know what? It's a start. And they did say that they want to be the apex, the epicenter of cryptocurrencies in the United States. They want to embrace every aspect of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, blockchain, distributed ledger technologies. Arizona State has made it a very well-known fact that their opinion on this is bring it on. We want to be, the hub for crypto in the U.S. Now, that doesn't mean that they will become, it will happen wherever it happens, but it's great to see this because other states are going to want to fight for this attention. You're not going to want to, Silicon Valley isn't going to want to let go of their glory, and I don't think New York is going to want to pass up on this opportunity to be the epicenter of crypto in the U.S. They're the money capital of the U.S. in New York, so I think that this is great for that whole competition where the states are going to have to fight for the attention, because if they start to see people move like Silicon Valley happens, the money started to fluctuate and move into one location, and people started to say, shit, I wish we embraced that technology boom here. So if you want that paradigm shift to follow to that state, be like Arizona and start being public about embracing it, and the money will start to flock there, just like how it is in Puerto Rico right now. The extra income that these places have because the residents are pretty much crypto rich. It's freaking awesome. So I think Arizona trying to be like, oh man, we're the VIPs of this. We're gonna take care of you. You can even pay your taxes here in Bitcoin. I think that's going to twist the arms of the other states. What do you guys think is going to happen? What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think they were also trying to remove it as a property tax out there in Arizona as well. So they're, trying to at least save money as far as taxes for people that are in crypto. because that 40%, I put mine into software today finally, so it's not as bad, but it's still bad. Yeah, it's still bad, dude. I mean, I don't even think all my trades, even looking at the numbers, they seem off to me, but I uploaded everything that I could think of into it, so. We'll see. If I can't figure it out and track everything, then good luck, IRS, because you got a heavy hand that you're probably going to have to hire a lot of people because it's brutal. Like even reading of this stuff, I mean, it's ungodly. It's like, wait, what am I looking at here? I don't understand it. So I wish IRS luck with that.
They're depending on that whole voluntary aspect. You're voluntarily, willingly helping. And that's what they're depending on right now, Without you being compliant, they would be in the dark with the thumb up their ass because they don't have the people to hire. That's why. Yeah. We should try to at least comply a little bit. But like, I never really went out of my way any farther than going to H&R Block and being like, here, and I don't really have that option right now. Like, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. I want to go to H&R Block and make it their problem, but I have a feeling they're going to be like, we don't know how to help you.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I think New York's probably going to struggle. I think New York really botched Bitcoin. That was supposed to be the epicenter, and then basically the scam artist, I guess I would like to call them, who decided that the state, if you want to operate in New York, you need a bit license. And then as soon as he put that regulation in place, he decided to step down and opened up his own company, which is involved in like crypto. So he kind of like set the bar and stepped aside just so he would have an advantage on the other side of that. So I think New York will have a big hurdle to cross if they do decide to take it on. But I mean, the money and the power there obviously can shift hands very quickly and get it done. So that's definitely a possibility. But yeah, the more and more states that come on, the more it's going to people are going to have to look at it. I mean, it's here. I mean, you see everybody that's been against Bitcoin, the big CEOs of banks, not all of them, but majority of them, you find stories a month later where now they're pissed off. I was just reading it the other day where a guy was talking, he was talking about like how bad Bitcoin was. And a month later, I guess he did a Bitcoin related or a blockchain related stock instead of investing in crypto, and the stock plummeted and he lost like majority of his savings from it.
Long Island blockchain.
Dennis Gartman.
Yeah, Dennis if he was holding on to the actual asset, he'd be in good shape, I bet.
He said, Bitcoin is nonsense. I won't buy or sell any. And that was in December. And then it came out the other day. In his very own, so he went into a Riot Blockchain Inc. with his own retirement fund, and he basically lost most of it. So here he went against it, and he lost, and he invested in just a company that's a blockchain company, and they tanked. So now, yeah, he's even more mad at Bitcoin. So they try one way or another. They try to beat us, and they still can't. It's just old-time technology with old-time bankers that don't understand the ETF, underlying stuff. So yeah, they can do all they want with it on the other side. We'll just keep winning. That's what we do. All we do is win.
What you got to add, Rice Crypto?
Well, I mean, I definitely think that states are going to jump on board with cryptocurrency, and you're probably going to see it happening on local levels too. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but it was about a month and a half ago I read about in Virginia Beach, the local government is actually opening up a mining facility. So they're going to take advantage. I thought that was pretty cool. So I don't know if they're going to offer the mining to anything outside of the facility, or if it's just going to be the income is going to go straight back into the government. But I thought that was an interesting concept that they were having a mining facility that was being owned and operated by local government in Virginia. So
dude, sounds expensive.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds awesome that they're interested.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
How
we're
are they
going to
gonna
see
cool
these
it?
kinds of things happen more and more. I mean, like in Canada, that those kinds of things are Canada is like super embracing of cryptocurrency, and you're
100%.
seeing like where there's all kinds of excess of
Be right back.
energy where it's just not being used. They're going to be partnering up with these mining companies, and people are going to be able to take advantage of like extra excess energy from oil rigs and things like that. So it's kind of interesting when you think about the cooperation of the government getting involved, because it could be taken to a whole nother level as far as like access to more nodes and making the whole entire network bigger, which is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I even saw a startup, I think it was earlier today, where they are actually growing like vegetables and stuff where their miners are, because the heat that it's producing, it's able to grow crops. So they have it set up to where the miners are on top, and all these plants and stuff are actually growing underneath the miners because it's lit, it's heated, so it's like a perfect environment
Yep.
for it. So,
Instead of
that's
paying for
another.
heat, they get paid to make heat.
Yeah, so they're making money off their product, and then they're also getting paid. I mean, even with me mining, it's like it's my electricity's free that I pay with it. Basically, it covers all that bills. And it's still profit. Whether you're running two cards or not, you're still good. You're still making money. You pay your electric that it costs, and it's like 1/5 of whatever you're mining, pretty much. At least for me, it is.
Yeah, I could definitely see the states embracing mining. I mean, it just feels like they would use taxpayer money to set it up so it's free, and then they would just make the money off of it. They would free electricity. They're the state. It makes sense. It definitely makes sense. I mean, fill the potholes with crypto. God damn it! You're not doing it with any other means of
No,
revenue.
uh,
There's so many
absolutely.
fucking potholes, but there's so many people in like politics with Lambos. It's like how you got a Lambo. Like, what road do you take with that Lambo? There's so many potholes in your own state. You would think you
That's
would
why I
want to
won't.
pimp it.
That's why I won't get one in PA, man. The potholes are ridiculous. I would have to go back down to Florida if I did that.
For sure. So, Mark, you got a story or something?
Uh, yeah, I do have another story, which is interesting because I've seen recently a lot of college classes now are starting to go into finance with crypto as a background.
Yes.
But there's a school in New Jersey I was reading about yesterday, a high school. So he's a finance and business high school teacher, and a couple of his kids he heard talking about crypto. So, and then once a couple of them were talking, of course, everyone followed suit. So now he felt obligated to include that in his coursework for his finance and business. So that's a big step too, because that's getting more people involved by explaining it, and that's a perfect thing because it's a lot of people miss out on the basics, and we're better than school where you have to take that hour class and it's all about crypto. So hopefully he does it well, and teaches the basics first, how to set up wallets, all that good stuff, and we'll see the younger generation follow suit and continue to decline on the US dollar and jump into crypto.
Yo, I never
Well, I
thought
love.
about being a teacher, but shit, dude, that's definitely. I would definitely be a high school teacher for cryptocurrencies. I would do it. Whatever it takes, I would do it. I want to do it now.
I always hated math, but yeah, I would definitely go back to college for, business and finance major. just
Well,
to
I mean,
keep.
that's the thing. I do go to school. I go to school for business administration currently, and there's nothing really like that being offered right now. Obviously, now I think there's a couple universities that are adopting some blockchain education, but I don't think like it's very prevalent. I know in Europe and other parts of the world, there's some things going on, especially in the Asian countries. But I think it would be really awesome to see that being offered in our education system for the college level in the United States. I mean, most definitely. I think that people who have any kind of like coding ability or who have any kind of tech ability need to get involved, because that's something we don't talk about enough, is that we need to get all these younger people and people who have skills to get involved into this space and learn so that we can grow this community and make it what it's supposed to be. And we can't do that with the amount of people that we have right now. And that's the reason why we're in the position that we are with all the scaling issues and all the various tech stuff. But the more people you have that are trained, that know about this kind of stuff, we're going to start seeing a lot more improvement. So I can't wait to see the day when that's being offered educationally here in the U.S.
Yeah, I'm worried about like our government using it against us. Like it kind of looks like they're doing that in Venezuela, dude. The Venezuelan president, he created his own cryptocurrency and is now forcing, state companies and he's forcing people to use it. It's weird. I never really thought of something like that happening where, they would create some kind of, centralized cryptocurrency and force citizens to utilize it. It's definitely something I didn't see coming, and I hope that it's not something that comes to us in the U.S. But I don't know. What do you guys think about what's happening in Venezuela? You think this is like, possibly a good step forward, or is this something that could be something most places might learn from?
I mean, I think definitely it depends on the way they approach it. That's going to be the whole, is it an unlimited cap ICO? Like,
it's supposed to be backed by oil, isn't it?
Yeah, well, okay. It's supposed to be backed by oil and like other commodities.
Well, the U.S. is going to invade them then. We're going to take over their own currency. Great.
That country is screwed, man, economically. I don't think anybody would want to try to take on the burden of trying to fix what they've got going on. But so it's something that nobody's really talking about. It was discussed in the very beginning, but the Venezuelan parliament, they are not down with this. This is the corrupt dictator president. This is an evil son of a bitch. Anybody who's forcing you to use a currency, that's an issue. That's not voluntaryism or being a voluntarist. You're being forced to use this. That is not cool. And being that this guy is a corrupt person, that now they're talking about the possible introduction of a gold-backed petro, the petro oro.
Yeah, and I saw that.
You're getting a lot of big money investment because obviously it's a government. So people are looking at it being more stable. But this almost would be like one of the biggest ICO scams or coin scams that I think could possibly exist. I don't think that this is going to be positive. If you communicate with anybody in Venezuela, with the economy being like it is, they are utilizing cryptocurrencies, but they're not using a centralized cryptocurrency, which I wouldn't even call a cryptocurrency. They're utilizing Dash, from what I understand, because it's like a very used. It's easy to mine down there. There's a lot of apparently that's the most used cryptocurrency, and they should have left it at that. And now they've got this dictator president trying to force people to use a centralized cryptocurrency.
Yep.
And I'm not down with that. I'm down with decentralization. I know you guys are too, man. So I say, fuck the governments, fuck Venezuela, fuck the Venezuelan president, and amen to the parliament for at least sticking up to this dictatorship. So hopefully we might see some rebellion take place. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Hopefully that's what they do. I mean, it would be scary to see the repercussions that they would have to endure to not go with that dictatorship, but the freedoms that would be the reward, probably fucking worth it.
They've already been through a fiat crash. They have already been through the worst. This is them trying to make the situation better, but having more control over it. So it's like they're resetting the system and using this petro as a way of resetting the system, but it's just implementing a more source of control, and it's bullshit.
The funny thing is they picked the wrong name for the currency too, because there's actually already a petro that was created by Bruce Weiner years ago that I just saw the price a little bit ago. It's actually pumping because I guess people think that it's the Venezuelans.
They should bring a lawsuit against Venezuela, man. Especially if they've got some sort of trademark or copyright.
That would be awesome. Cool. I don't know how anything would go down, but it would be pretty cool to see
international courts. I don't know, but right. I mean, you got patents and copyrights are going to be upheld internationally, so this wouldn't be taking place in Venezuela. So this would be some sort of. It would be cool as hell. So whoever you are, man, definitely sue Venezuela or do your best.
You don't want to end up like that guy Mark was telling me about, the Japanese lawyer that was trying to make crypto illegal. What was up with that? Somebody was talking about that in the chat.
Yeah. So the South Korean, the guy that was responsible for putting regulations on crypto in South Korea, the main guy, he was found dead in his home. There wasn't really much to the story, so they didn't say like if he just natural cause or was murdered or something. But yeah, it was just funny because I posted it the other day. It was like a crazy story. Here it is. All right, so January 23rd, South Korea to ban cryptocurrency traders from using anonymous bank accounts. February 14th, crypto trading ban downplayed by South Korea after backlash. 6 days later, February 20th, South Korean government official in charge of cryptocurrency crackdown found dead at his home. The same day, Bitcoin rises as South Korea talks active support for trading. So within the period of a month, basically, it went from being banned to only anonymous people will be banned to the guy putting these regulations being dead, and then the price of Bitcoin goes up the same day. So it's definitely going to be an interesting developing story to find out more about what happened there. But it's sad, but yeah, I mean, it's just even with people getting robbed today. But it seems like a lot of people that are getting robbed they're getting lucky, and the authorities are actually catching whoever's doing it as well.
Well, that's awesome because the criminals don't know what the hell they're doing yet either. Like if somebody broke in and said, "Give me all your Bitcoin," I'm gonna be like, "Here you go. That's all my Bitcoin. You can have it. Here you go, sir."
Well, the one guy was smart. The one guy sent it with zero transaction
Here,
fee.
you can have all my Dash too. You can just have it. Here's all my Dash, sir.
I need one of them.
They don't know what they're doing.
But not the one guy sent, but he sent it with no transaction fee, so it never confirmed. Yes. So they thought he sent it, and then he just went back home and just canceled the transaction.
A fucking hero.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
I was like, but you can't post that because then they're gonna get it's like the same thing with someone robbing a bank. It's like, why are you explaining how this person got away with actually robbing a bank? Now other people can do the same exact thing and rob this bank. Like, so it's like you probably shouldn't release details of what you did.
Damn. Yeah, I feel bad for that guy, man. I mean, it's a shame. That is a shame. I didn't think crypto had that kind of you know what I mean, like people in it, you know what I mean, like that would kill to keep crypto going, even in like South Korea. That's but that does show that people are willing to literally kill over this technology, that it won't go anywhere, because if governments try to push it aside, war will come, and it won't. I don't hope, and I don't think it will come in the form of murder. But like, there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there that could make politicians' lives a living hell, and that could push them to do things that could hurt themselves and others around them, their loved ones and family. I mean, hackers get into your Facebook account and they get into your loved ones' Facebook accounts, and that's it, game over, I mean, I feel like if anybody wanted to control anybody like puppets, it would be like Facebook, right? They got that DM back history. They could just be like, "Hey, Senator, remember that dick pic you sent when you were 18? Remember that shit you were talking about, doing all those lines of coke on that hooker's, breast when you were 20 in the Atlantic City hotel?" Because people that use Facebook today don't think about running for office in 20 years. So I'm just saying, be careful, guys.
Yeah. That's why I was laughing. I mean, I support the Second Amendment or whatever, but there needs to be a little bit of changes to go on with stricter laws or whatnot. But it was a high school student debating with Marco Rubio, and he basically was up there on stage, and he was like, "Okay, well," he goes, "Well, you don't have to do anything, but will you not accept a single donation from the NRA?" From now on, and Rubio basically said he couldn't turn down the money from the NRA. So it's politicians, man. They're just dirty, and he said it. His key words were, I don't pay them. to support gun laws, they pay me for the agendas that I have. Well, of course they do. Then why are we getting taxed? If you're getting money from the NRA and everything else and you're in our government, well, guess what? That should be your paycheck. You take in funds just like their donations. Then you don't get taxpayer money to pay you your salary on top of all your millions in donations. You know, that would be like me saying, hey, YouTube, I'm just a YouTuber, but I need you guys to pay me too. Like, so it's just, you want to know where your tax money goes? Well, yeah, in the greedy politicians' pockets, because I have yet to see one single road be paved or anything done in the state of Pennsylvania. The bridges, we have the worst bridges in the United States, I believe, and nothing's ever been done with them as well. They could collapse at any moment, apparently. So, yeah, it's just, that's why it needs a blockchain, man. Just, okay, here I go. I paid my taxes to this contract address. Okay, the funds went there. Oh, okay, that contract address is the Public Works Department. Okay, great. Okay, my money was well spent on taxes. It's that simple.
I'm waiting for smart contract taxes. That's where I think we're going to start to really see the technology used to not just save money, but to make money move in such a way that things get done so fast, it scares people. Like, do you know how long it takes for a pothole to get filled because of the paperwork, the approval? You have to find the money, get the money there, make sure that people do the job, pay the people. You have smart contracts do shit like that where the verification process is decentralized, where you have a consensus of the crowd of the town, where, you know, if you live in the town, you contribute to the tax there. You take a picture of the pothole or whatever, and you can have it, you know, upload it to the contract. People vote to have that done. The money gets sent there. The people go there. They fill the hole. You have to make sure that it's filled. People take pictures. They vote to say, yeah, it's really full. The consent, the contract releases, and the people get paid. And it's at that point where, you know, it's almost there, but all the people that have the stamps, you know, those people that just hit it with a stamp, they make a lot of fucking money doing that, dude. And that's all they do is flip page, stamp, flip page, stamp. That's a smart fucking contract being done by a dumb fucking person. That's really expensive. But the only reason they're there is because they keep doing that job in a way that makes it possible to not do that task without them. So they lobby against the advancements that would put them out of a job, even though the world would be a better place without their job being necessary.
Yeah. I mean, what's wrong? It's like kind of how, okay, fine. If you want a robot to work for you, great. You know, it's kind of like I look at it as like mining. It's like, okay, I turn my computer on, I let my electronics do the work for me, and I continue on with the rest of my day. So, I mean, if something can take your place while you just continue with the rest, what would be wrong with that? It's like, okay, you're still going to get paid, but something else is going to be some technology is going to do the work for you.
Wait for Singularity Net, dude. I mean,
well, I mean, okay, blockchain and, you know, is definitely obviously our way to change the world, you know, and it's freaking great to think about all the things like what you just mentioned about smart contracts and how we can change like something as small as a pothole. And yeah, I mean, go ahead and like go into the AGI thing, because Singularity Net is going to do some crazy stuff, man. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to like jump in and interrupt you, but I mean, I'm just like so passionate about the blockchain and cryptocurrency, because this is our way of being able to change the world. And we do need to change systems. And as the systems change, the way that we do things and the way we live are going to change. So, you know, it might, the idea of working like manual labor work type jobs may not exist in like 10, 15 years from now. You know, people may be doing things like this to be able to earn incomes, or watching advertisements on their TVs or something like that. There's going to be different ways of people to obtain income, because you're going to see a lot of workforce being replaced by robots and AI. That's definitely coming. And businesses are all about productivity and whatever can bring more profit. So, and ultimately the investment in AI is going to do that. And what Singularity Net is proposing to do, of all the different coins, tokens out there that have some sort of artificial intelligence, where they're integrating it, I think Singularity Net is definitely going to be the forerunner in all of this, especially when they have the the entire development team, Hanson Robotics, as well as they're creating Sophia, which Sophia, to me, I'm really kind of torn. You know, I find I don't even want to call it's not her. I find it to be very interesting.
No, it's a girl.
But
she's cute.
But I'm scared, you know, of the possibility of the future, man, with AI. Like the whole Skynet stuff. I mean, it is possible, and so I think we're kind of playing with fire with AI.
I feel like we were playing with fire with the internet, though. You know what I mean? I mean, it took on a life of its own. It's of a sort of an AI. It's constantly learning from us, contributing to its overall knowledge of things. You know, it's not so self-active, but I mean, it is connected to everything and everybody. I feel like if we embrace it, even the worst case scenario, it has to happen. You know, the blockchain technology has to, I feel, go worst case scenario for us to figure out how to really, you know, use it the right way without the wrong things, you know, because it can't all be sunshine and rainbows. We need a worst case scenario event so that we can say, all right, now it's time that we can depend on it because we already know worst case scenario. We've been there. We put a precaution in there. But I don't know. I hope that these advances keep moving forward, especially with AI. But I'm excited. I'm embracive. I want to bring it on. I don't know if I want to go the route of, you know, don't let anybody experiment with it. But obviously, you know, in a closed environment, you know, let people play around, see what happens.
You know, something crazy to think about, though. And you know, when we talk about like these these websites are able to use our computing power to mine.
Right.
Think in theory the idea of releasing artificial intelligence on a blockchain.
Stop.
On a blockchain. You put an artificial intelligence on a blockchain, so if you essentially put Sophia on a blockchain, if she isn't already, she could essentially have all the computing power of the world to her use and ability. Imagine that. That's kind of scary. That's the thing
though. I'm excited for that.
That's the thing that I mean. I'm intrigued, but I'm scared at the same time because it could go really good or it could go terribly bad.
Right. I mean, yeah, you could always say, "Hey, AI, can you end all world hunger?" And they just nuke everybody, and they're like, "Look, nobody's hungry anymore. What do you want me to do now, boss?" You're right.
Hello, are you there?
yeah. Hello.
I mean, I've listened to some of the stuff that Sophia talks about, and in theory, if she does what she talks about, how she's been programmed, she just wants to assist humanity. Even if she was a controlling factor, she would only be doing everything for the benefit of humanity.
But that would be like extinction and world hunger type thing, man. You have to like. It's
I don't
really
know.
Weird. She's
I don't
still
know,
a
but.
baby.
Is she going for like Miss America?
Mark, what do you got going on back there? What have you been trading last week, dude? What were some coins worthwhile last week?
What do you mean? This is just Bitcoin wisdom. It's always on my screen.
Okay. Were you trading last week at all, though? It was a decent little bull run. I mean, everything seemed to go up a little bit.
I just made some profits last night off of Dent, man. Dent went up like 55%.
I've been staking in Pivx right now a lot. Yeah? So that's, during sideways markets, down markets, you got to stake. And then when it goes up, that's when you sell your stake, at least.
How many is a good amount to stake when it comes to Pivx?
I
guess you join a pool, right, and contribute. But like, what's a decent amount for a good return?
No, I do it in my own wallet. So, I mean, obviously a master node's where you want, but Pivx, you need 10,000 Pivx for a master node, and they're like, I think it was
$5,
$6. Yeah. So, I mean, it's still considering Dash. You need about 100 Gs to run a master node now. I mean, you can stake like a couple hundred coins and be all right.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you're not gonna make like a ton of money, but I mean, you're holding. It's one of the Dash and Pivx, so like that's one of the two main ones that you want to stake.
I've been staking Decred. I got a decent amount of Decred I'm staking right now. So.
You gotta stake
I want to get some more
Martech's coin.
pivots. I want to get some more pivots too, and start staking pivots. So I think 2018 will be the year of the stake. I think ICOs may start to die down, especially in the U.S. Because of regulations and the SEC and the CFTC and their whole conversation about no, not 1-0, fucking not a single ICO has registered with them at all ever, and don't plan to, it appears like. So any real investors probably not going to invest in an ICO, especially if they want to make legit money. But I think what they're going to start to do is move their money into master nodes or staking, where that they have some means of that passive income that they really like from having their money invested traditionally, but now being somewhat involved in this new digital cryptocurrency environment. So I'm preparing myself for that forward thinking of that mainstream money, that we have that rebellious thought, and I love that. I try to stay true to that, but I want to try to think of the traditional guys that want to get in here. They can't really be too rebellious, so they're probably going to try to go in with, hey, I'm going to buy these amount of coins. I don't have to cash in or cash out. I'm staking them, or I own a master node, and that's it. They just sit there, so I don't have to worry about that problem. And then I get the dividends, the payouts from staking, and I can claim that or move that to this and use that for trading. So I think like you said, staking pivots, great idea. Staking Decred myself. I think that
staking Neo.
Staking Neo. I got Neo. I got gas. I love Neo for gas.
So I think Neo. I think between like staking and mining, those are going to be like the future ways that people are going to do checking, like savings accounts. Those are going to be like the way to replace savings because
wow.
Because like I earn in student banking where I bank where I used to bank because I don't bank anymore. But I had received off $1,000 savings account for 6 months, like 5 cents interest. So if you know what you're getting off your staking, you're getting way more than that. So even if it's not a lot, it's way more than the banks will give you. So I say screw the banks and put your money into staking and into coins that you believe in, because not only will you have long-term gains on the coins, but you're going to get those dividends as well. So this is the future of trying to change the banking industry as well. This is the new savings accounts, staking and mining.
I agree.
Yeah. I absolutely agree, and a lot of them too. Like even with smaller amounts, not even having like a master node, you can, if you stake for the entire year, you can at least earn 7%, and that's what stock market traders do at the end of the year. That's some of their goals, is they want to be at least in that plus 7% range for the year, which crypto is like, wait, what? 7%? It's like I made that with just saying the word 7%.
All right, I just took a piss and made 8%.
Yeah, let's check this.
No, you're right. All right, guys, let's do a roundup here, round things up. So last week into this week, today, it does look like the governments are getting a little more friendly. The FUD will still be there, but at least in the U.S., if you're not an ICO, you're fine. There's so many more options for doing taxes. We got Crypto Maak over here doing his crypto taxes in the background. He's doing it. It's not that hard, and the easier and easier it gets for us to do this shit, and the more and more we do it, more people will feel like the water is fine, and they'll start splashing on in here with us. So, do your crypto thing, do your crypto taxes, show people that look, this is legit. It is what it is, and more people will join us. That's what I took out of this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And just keep passing it on to more and more people. Like I said, with the whole high school thing, I mean, I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
To get it out to more of the masses, because I wish something like that existed when I was in high school. I mean, I had like the programming and the web design and all that stuff, but it's no one really talks to you about your future and what you really want to do, or like talks about it. A lot of the things that I went to college for, I found out how much money they made, and I was like, wait, I'm going to spend how much to go to school here and only make that much per year? No thanks. Like, So, I mean, I think that's something that a lot of schools should look into as well with classes is like, hey, like, let's get your financial future set up and tell you, work with kids that way. Because, it's definitely a big time. A lot of people don't appreciate is realizing that your future is there and it's here and it's time to grab it and actually figure that out instead of, hey, I'm going to college to go party. Like, now you have crypto, it's here. And I think a lot of people I think should really get into dev work, learn how to code with Ethereum and parity and all that stuff. And that's what I'm doing. I mean, I've had some programming background knowledge, but now like that's what I'm digging into the developer, because it's the most needed thing right now. There's not enough developers in crypto space. So if you're listening, start. There's plenty of websites you can start learning that on as well. And just make it happen, man. Let's continue to build on the future. And I'll see you guys at 1 trillion.
Hey, Mark, since you said that, Block Geeks, don't they offer education for like developers and stuff like that? Are you familiar?
Yeah, so I have up here, I have
Amir Rosa.
Udemy has some. The Blockchain Council.org has them. The Cryptocurrency Certification Consortium. Blockchain Academy, Block Geeks.
Yeah, Block Geeks. That's what I was thinking about with Amir Rozik.
Learn Crypto Fast.
I interviewed that guy.
Coming out too.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. That's why I encourage people. He's the Block Geeks website has a lot of like some of the information's above my head because I'm not into the coding and tech stuff or development, but I think it's very informative, and I know what the dude is doing is great things. He's definitely one of those underrated people in the space, I think.
No, for sure.
Yeah, him and Jason King would be the other one with his school launching the Blockchain Academy. So, he's a great guy as well. So, I'm looking forward to those two finally launching those products as well.
I'm looking forward to Monday, man. Monday, we got Light Pay starting, and then we've got Coinbase Commerce going on. So Monday, I think, is going to be a big day.
Next week, we'll have a lot to talk about, that's for sure. Quick shout-out to DJ Meat Popsicle. It's me, Boss Lady, Jeffrey Butts with 2 T's. We got BTC Kyle is in the house. That's awesome. Shout-out to BTC Kyle.
What's up, BTC Kyle?
He said the Petro Kenn. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should make a Petro Kenn dollar. Fuck it, right? We got Twin Truckers in the house. How goes it? Barbara, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. What up, Bob Thorpe? Yo, how goes it? Crypto Andrew, thanks for stopping by. Eric A was here, thanks a lot, and the Stacking Stoner stopped by the live chat, so I appreciated everybody that was here, and everybody else I did not get a chance to shout out. There was a couple people. Thank you. Don't forget to click subscribe, flick the alert bell right next to subscribe, hit that thumbs up if you had a good time, and have a night.